Namaste friends, my name is Amit Garg. Welcome to my channel Vedic Astro Amit. Today we'll talk about the upcoming lunar eclipse on May 25th. That's going to be in the sign of Virgo. You see, eclipses always come in pairs. So there's either solar eclipse followed by the lunar, or you could have lunar eclipse followed by the solar. So this time we'll have a lunar eclipse on March 25th, and followed by a solar eclipse, a total solar eclipse, at least in the US, um, on April 8th, 2024. So eclipses are extremely powerful. We all know, the impact may start a few weeks before the eclipse, and they even say the effect or the results of eclipse may even be felt even 6 months after the eclipse. So this one, it's going to be precisely around midnight on March 24th night. That is the beginning of March 25th for US Pacific time, which means it'll be around 12:30 p.m. on March 25th for India. So that's the peak time of eclipse. And so a few hours before that and a few hours after that, so that's when the sensitive period is. See, eclipses have had a huge significance all through our history. If you look, the kings used to look at eclipses. We had a lot of, events around eclipses. And so eclipse, what does an eclipse mean? Eclipse mean literally Rahu or Ketu, one of them will be engulfing Surya or Chandra, sun or moon. Okay, so it's like as if the sun or the moon, they are going through a process of death and rebirth. So what happened in mythology? The During the churning of the ocean, when gods and demons were they were together working towards the same goal, which is to get the nectar, Amrita from the ocean. So they were churning the ocean, and gods on one side, demons on the other. And so that story is how the eclipses came into being. And so they got the nectar, and the nectar, if somebody drinks a nectar, they'll of course become immortal, right? So that was the idea. That's why they were all running after the nectar. And so they got the nectar, and then Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, took the nectar and said, I'll distribute this among the gods and demons equally, right? So he asked the gods to sit on one side and the demons on the other side. And Lord Vishnu took the form of Mohini, the dancer, right? So what Lord Vishnu did, he started giving nectar to the gods, but on the demon side, he started giving them Madira, alcohol. And took the form of this nice, beautiful dancer. So the demons didn't care, right? So they were all absorbed in her beauty, so they kept drinking alcohol. But there was this one demon, Swarbhanu. He was actually used as the rope, the churning, the rope for churning the ocean. And so Swarbhanu, he was extremely intelligent. He was so intelligent that he could see through what Lord Vishnu was doing. Like he could even see through the disguise of Lord Vishnu. Extremely intelligent. And so what Swarbhanu did, uh, he took took the form of a god. He disguised himself as a god and went and sat on the side of the gods. He in fact sat between the sun and the moon, Surya and Chandra. And then Lord Vishnu was giving the nectar, and then this guy's turn came. Lord Vishnu gave the nectar. He drank it. By that time, the sun and the moon, they realized what was going on. They saw this guy doesn't belong to us. He's not a god. He's disguised himself. And so they reported to Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu saw immediately what was going on. And then Lord Vishnu threw his disc. So Lord Vishnu threw his disc and cut the head off of this demon, Swarbhanu. But by that time, he had already ingested the nectar. So he had to become immortal, and they had to give him the status of a planet. That's how Rahu and Ketu came into being. And so the head became Rahu, and the portion below the head, the body without the head, became Ketu. So that's why Rahu has all the five senses, the head, all the monkey mind, whereas Ketu is the body, it's all the wisdom, digested wisdom. And so now of course, Swarabhanu was really upset at Sun and the Moon for telling on him. So that's where this animosity between Rahu Ketu and Surya and Chandra started. So uh, the Swarbhanu, the Rahu and Ketu, they cursed the sun and the moon that they have to, go through this. That Rahu and Ketu, they'll engulf the sun and the moon twice a year, and so that's how the eclipses came into being. So they go through their mouth or whatever the tail, and then come out on the other side. So that's the story behind eclipses, and so that's why Rahu and Ketu are so powerful that they can even eclipse the giant Surya and Chandra. So they're extremely powerful in Vedic astrology. We look at those Rahu and Ketu placement in the chart very, very closely. Wherever Rahu Ketu axis is, that sort of becomes the primary focus of life of a person. So extremely important to see Rahu and Ketu placement. And so uh, now, astronomically, what happens during an eclipse? Astronomically, the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon, all three are aligned in the same line. Could both for solar eclipse or lunar eclipse, all three are aligned. What does that mean? Sun is our soul, Moon is our mind, and Earth is our body, physical body. And so the body, mind, and soul, they're all aligned on this day, at this very moment, especially. So that means the universe is giving us this huge opportunity to go within and make use of this massive alignment, to make use of this alignment of ourself, which is the soul, with our body and mind. And so naturally, this is like the environment, the surroundings, the energy is such that we can easily go within and be connected to the source, which is our soul. So the best thing to do during an eclipse, before and after, is meditation. Go within, just do lots of meditation, self-reflection. Do not eat, very much. If possible, do fasting, because the more you fast, the more you can do meditation. The stronger your meditation will be. You can do charity on this day, and you can do mantra chanting. They say a mantra chanted during the eclipse is more than 1,000 times more powerful than mantra chanted during any other times. So you can do yagyas, homa, fire ceremony, all of those things. Any spiritual work you do during this time, during this phase, this period, is 1,000 times more powerful. So that's why this is a perfect time to really do deep meditation, self-reflection, fasting, chanting, yagya, mantra, all of that, and charity and donation. Now, what things you should not do is a few things is directly look at the eclipse, or even go out during the eclipse, and you should not be cooking during the eclipse. And if you have any food that you cooked just before the eclipse or on that day, uh, try not to consume it after the eclipse. Or you can put a little bit of, the Ganga Jal, the Ganges water, holy water, sprinkle, or do some sage or things like that. Tulsi leaves you can put in the food before the eclipse, so that it still has the good energies. It doesn't get touched by the energies of the eclipse. And of course, do not look at the eclipse directly. And also, best not to make any important major decisions for our mundane work, for our materialistic life during the eclipse on that day. You can do donations and do spiritual work, but even, not to undertake any very major important trips or journeys, or even like, start a job or a housewarming, things like that. So those things are better avoided, but do as much spiritual work as you can. That will be really, really well rewarded. Now, people also have questions sometimes, does it matter where the eclipse is visible or not? It does not. They are more energetic phenomena. right? So they affect us all, no matter where on Earth we are, no matter the eclipse is visible or not. So it affects everybody. And the idea, the basic idea, the thing you need to keep in mind is that eclipse essentially is the time of change and transformation. The sun and the moon are changing, they're going through death and rebirth. It's like a snake is shedding its skin, right? So that's what's going on. So this is the time of really deep change and transformation for us. uh, Another message of eclipse is that the asuras, the demons, or the negative forces may prevail for a while, but not for very long. So after the eclipse, we have this new fresh sun and moon. Okay, so those are a few things general about all eclipses, right? Now, this particular one, it's taking place in the sign of Virgo. The full moon, the moon will be in Virgo in Hasta Nakshatra. So anything to do with Hasta Nakshatra, the hands become the best remedy. So you can massage your hands, you can do mudras, you can do handstands. All of that becomes excellent remedy during this nakshatra. Surya is the deity during this eclipse. I mean, Surya is the deity. So any Surya puja, Surya worship, Gayatri mantra, that's ideal during this eclipse. And then the sign of Virgo, right? So cleansing, helping other people, being organized, all of those things are important. That becomes a remedy as well. So those are general remedies, things you can do. So during eclipse, what happens? You're very, very sensitive. So doing any energy work is good. Energy healing, clairvoyance, past life regression, visiting the other planes of existence, astral travel, yoga nidra, lucid dreaming. Uh, all of that is becomes much easier. You have access to the other planes of existence. Um, Now, a few things you have to be careful about as well. One is you may have self-doubt because the moon or the sun going towards Rahu and Ketu are illusion, right? So, and sun is our self-confidence. So if sun is going close to Rahu or moon is going close to Ketu, so that may give you self-doubt. So be on the lookout for that. There could also be emotional roller coaster. Okay, so because emotions go up and down, moon, especially this one, lunar eclipse, moon is going close to Ketu. Moon is our gentle, our mind, our emotions, and Ketu is illusion and Ketu is detachment. So our emotions may be heightened. Now, also there could be a big sense of detachment from the material world, like you just want to give up everything and take sannyas. So those feelings may also be there. There could be general anxiety and some sort of fear or illusion. So illusion is something you have to differentiate. You have to be able to discern between whether it's intuition or illusion. Okay, so this time is excellent for tapping into your intuition, doing the energy work, healing work, but also make sure you're you know uh, that you safeguard against any sort of deceptive illusions or this Maya that Rahu and Ketu are experts at. And there could be mood swings, so and the dreams become extremely important a day before and after the eclipse. Any dreams during the sleep, you may get messages, you may get visitors from the past lives, right? So it's as if there's a veil between the conscious and subconscious realms, so that distinction becomes less pronounced. It's easy to go access and tap into the subconscious realms. So that'll give you like universal wisdom, secrets of the universe, who you are, going back to the source. What is your purpose? What's your dharma? Why you're here? So in a way, sort of like spiritual awakening, right? So you may get access to a lot of hidden wisdom, hidden things that you couldn't understand or comprehend earlier. Now you can feel those things. You can understand at a very emotional, energetic level. So all of that is possible. Eclipses are extremely powerful, and we can make use of that energy by doing a lot of spiritual work. So if you like the content so far, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon so you get the notifications. And also, please note this is based on sidereal zodiac, not the Western zodiac. And so now we'll look at each of the 12 signs. one by one, and specifically what things you might manifest in your life. And so you can look at both your rising sign or your moon sign. For the eclipse, moon sign is good as well, but you can look at the rising sign also. So both are equally important. You can see both or one or the other. So now we'll go look at all the 12 rising signs or 12 signs. So first we'll look at the sign of Aries. And this could be your rising sign or your moon sign. A lot of people still ask this question again and again. So you can look at both, either your Aries rising, Aries Lagna, or Aries is your moon sign or Rashi. Okay, so applies to both. So we're talking about the lunar eclipse taking place on March 25th in Virgo, in Hasta Nakshatra. And that's going to be midnight in the US Pacific, midnight of the night of 24th and the beginning of 25th. Or it could be that is 12:30 p.m. Indian time on March 25th. If you haven't already, please watch the intro section that talks about all the mythology of the eclipse and the do's and don'ts and some recommendations. And then come back here. So Aries, you see number one sign here. So this eclipse is taking place in your sixth house. Moon will be in the sixth house. Ketu is already there in Virgo. So the sign of Virgo in the Hasta Nakshatra. Now you have your fourth lord, that is Moon, that's getting eclipsed. So be careful about any illusions or enemies, blind spots. Sixth house is our enemies, could be external enemies or internal. Okay, so uh, you could be very emotional. Okay, so you may be just thinking about other people, what they're saying, anybody talking behind your back, things like that. So just do not pay attention to this chatter in your mind, or what other people are thinking or doing. So protect yourself from that kind of thinking process. Secondly, this sixth house is the house of serving other people, helping other people. So naturally, this is for you a big remedy is to do some volunteer work, give some charity, help other people. Third thing is at your workplace. Be careful at your workplace that there are no issues going on, because sixth house is the job that we do. And especially Mercury, which is the ruler of your sixth house, will be at 29 degrees in the sign of Pisces, which is extreme, Gandanta. Gandanta is the edge of the water sign and beginning of the fire sign. So Mercury, your dispositor of your moon during this transit, is in deep Gandanta and debilitated. Okay, so Mercury is debilitated here with Rahu, and it's at 29 degrees. So be very careful that there might be some misconceptions, misunderstanding, or miscommunication at your workplace. Be very careful about that. Now, sixth house is also, legal stuff, court cases, things like that. So those things, be careful not to make any important decisions during this day or just a couple of days before and after. So it's also your fourth lord in the sixth house. So something to do with your mother. Do lots of meditation and spiritual work with your mother. And you can do charity is the best thing, obviously. And then sixth house is also our health. So take care of your health. Do not miss any, things. There shouldn't be any blind spots, but excellent time to take a vow, begin some good health routine or diet, because anything you do, any sankalpa, any, promises you make, any vows you take on lunar eclipse, especially, those are very powerful. Those stay with you, those become permanent, those you tend to honor throughout your life. So make some important promises, set some intentions around your health, around your work, around eradicating the six inner enemies, around helping your mother or doing things with your mother, or maybe around your home itself, the place you live in, all of that. So do some things to make yourself more happy. Discover your inner happiness. That's fourth house. And so sixth house is also obstacles and challenges, all of that. So just overall be careful there are no scheming going on, illusion, all of that. But overall, really good time to just deep dive, focus on your health, focus on helping other people, and spiritual upliftment. So you can bring in some spiritual elements at your workplace, or like some kind of a spiritual work that you can do for other people. Uh, Help other people in spiritual ways, or just talk about spirituality and being a good person. But be careful about any deceptions or illusions, and stay detached from any disputes, other people or enemies, external and internal. And then, so this could give you a huge spiritual awakening. And you can use your hands as well. This is the Hasta Nakshatra. So uh, you can set up some health routine around your hands, massaging your hands or clapping and things like that. Those will be excellent. So that's the overall picture for Aries, how this eclipse is going to be and what things you can do and some recommendations. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Next is the sign of Taurus. This could be Taurus rising, or this could be the Taurus Rashi, your moon sign. So we're talking about the lunar eclipse that's going to take place on March 25th. So it's going to be exactly around midnight Pacific time, US Pacific time. That is the night of 24th and early the beginning of 25th, and that'll be 12:30 p.m. On 25th in India. So this next lunar eclipse, that's going to be full moon. It's going to be in Virgo in Hasta Nakshatra. If you haven't already, please watch the intro section. That's where we've discussed all the mythology, the do's and don'ts and recommendations, what one can do. And so this is specifically for Taurus. Now, for Taurus, eclipse is taking place in your fifth house. Moon is going towards Ketu, and Sun is going towards Rahu. And Moon is, of course, your third house ruler. And so a lot of changes, transformation with respect to fifth house is possible. You may actually unexpectedly meet someone, for romantic relationships, somebody from past lives or from your, previous, in this life itself from the past, somebody may surface, your old romantic relationships may be rekindled. Um, and uh, and then also there may be some past life connections for your children or with your children, something to do with that. But then this is an excellent, time for intuition. Fifth house is creativity, and Ketu is intuition. So and then Moon is subconscious mind, and so this is a great placement, a great trigger for you to tap into your intuition, work on your uh, you know, developing insights into all areas of life. And then this period may be, emotional ups and downs. There may be some anxiety, some mood swings. There could also be detachment when it comes to relationship with your children, uh, your children may themselves feel detached from external world uh, to some extent. There may also be illusions with respect to your connection with children or in your children's lives. Um, and then also be very careful um, dealing with your romantic relationships, because Ketu is still, headless. So there might be some possibility of headless mistakes, right? So don't jump into conclusion, but there will be some opportunities from past life or from this life in the past. But this is the time to really go within and go on a very deep spiritual quest with your romantic partner or with your children, with also your siblings, especially younger siblings, because the third ruler is the moon that's being eclipsed. So be careful in your relationship communication with your siblings and communication in general as well, because third ruler is all about communication. Be careful in your short distance travels, but really amazing time to learn some new skills, and also take some vow, or take some pledge, promise something, or start some new mantras. Beginning new mantras, new chanting is especially powerful for you for Taurus, because it's taking place in the fifth house, which is the house of mantras. Mantra Shastra is fifth house. So beginning any new mantras, or taking sankalpa or promise to chant, say, 108 times specific mantra or even more. So taking any vow this day on lunar eclipse is very, very powerful. Considered it'll have immense power, because the sun and the moon and the earth, they're all aligned in the same in the same line. So our mind, body, and soul are aligned. But fifth house of mantra shastra, so this is an amazing time to start new mantra, or do existing mantras that you do more often. Okay, so that's about the eclipse for the sign of Taurus. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon to get the notifications. Next is the sign of Gemini, and number 3 sign. So this could be a rising sign, Lagna, or this could be a moon sign. And again, just a reminder, this is based on the Vedic chart, not the Western zodiac, the sidereal zodiac we're talking about. So we're talking about the lunar eclipse that's going to take place on March 25th. Exactly, it's going to take place on midnight Pacific time, at the night of March 24th and the beginning of March 25th. That'll be 12:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time on March 25th. So this eclipse is taking place in the sign of Virgo in Hasta Nakshatra. We've talked about Hasta, we've talked about Virgo, we've talked about the mythology of the eclipse and the do's and don'ts, all of that in the intro section. So please listen to the intro section first. And then come back here. So the sign of Gemini, this eclipse is taking place in your 4th house, and Moon is the planet that's being eclipsed. Moon is the second lord. And 4th house, that's your inner happiness. That's your place of residence. That's the house of your mother. That's the house of real estate, all of that. So be careful dealing with your mother. Your mother may become emotional. There might be some headless mistakes when it comes to dealing with your mother, or with your home, or things related to real estate. So be very careful. There might be some illusion in those areas. There might be some anxiety, emotional ups and downs, mood swings, things like that, especially in your home. That's the 4th house. And also Moon is the second house ruler. So with respect to family, and family wealth, be very careful. There might be some illusion, some things you may not understand, some blind spots with respect to family wealth. And also your speech. Second lord is the ruler of speech as well. So you may feel less self-confident, but if you tap into your intuition, so if your speech is coming from a place of intuition, then it'll be a great time. So eclipse, the effects of eclipse last for as long as 6 months or even longer. So this transit, this particular event is extremely important. Go within, turn your home into a sanctuary. Do meditation, deep meditation in your place of residence. Invite other people as well, especially your family members. That's the second house. Do it with your mother. Give donation to, let's say, some charities for providing homes to homeless people, right? So those things, anything related to the 4th house, for mothers, right? Maybe like even like rape victims and things like that. Start chanting some mantra on this day. Take a sankalpa to start chanting some mantra on this day with your mother, or sitting at your home. I mean, that's the 4th house. And Jupiter is, you can do the Guru mantras also, because the dispositor Mercury is 29 degrees in debilitated in Pisces, and the dispositor of Mercury is Jupiter. And so, but also in general, all the Ketu remedies, the Ganesh mantra and feeding the dogs, all of those you can do. And also make sure you're eating properly, sattvic diet. So that's important. That's the second lord sitting in the 4th house. So all of those things are important. And also be careful while driving. That's the vehicles represented by 4th house. But so really wonderful time to go within, do lots of meditation, tap into your intuition. There might be spiritual awakening because it's taking place in your 4th house, which is the Sukhasthana, the house of inner happiness. All right, so that's for the sign of Gemini. Next, we'll talk about the sign of Cancer. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon to get the notifications. Next is the sign of Cancer. We're talking about the lunar eclipse that's going to take place on March 25th, midnight Pacific time. That's the night of 24th and the beginning of 25th. That'll be 12:30 p.m. on March 25th in India. So the number 4 sign, this could be your Lagna, Cancer Lagna, or Rashi Rashi is Cancer. So the moon sign Cancer or the rising sign Cancer. If you haven't already, please watch the intro section, because we talked about the Virgo and Hasta and lunar eclipse and mythology and do's and don'ts, everything in the intro section. So this eclipse for Cancer sign people, this is taking place in your 3rd house, and it's your Lagna Lord. Extremely important and powerful and sensitive period for you. Lagna Lord getting eclipsed means, your logical thinking, your mind, and that Lord also represents our emotional mind. So overall, there could be mood swings, emotional ups and downs, anxiety. You may feel complete detachment from the external world. There may be some illusions. But there could be some unexpected rewards, things from the past life coming into play. Especially with your siblings, you may have some experiences with your siblings. Be careful of any, misunderstanding with your siblings, with your neighbors, and with your communication in general. Be very, very careful in all of your communication. There might be some illusion, headless mistakes, things like that, because it's the 3rd house and your Lagna Lord is involved. So for Cancer, anyway, Cancer people are sensitive. They're emotionally very sensitive, and especially on full moon, around the full moon, the Lagna Lord, it's like overflowing with nectar. The Chandra, the moon, is having lots of emotions, emotional overflow in general for all during all full moons. But this one is eclipse full moon, so very, very careful. But this is an amazing time to go within, and because it's your Lagna Lord, very close to Ketu, that means you'll have access to other planes of existence. You'll have access to deep intuition, astral travel, all of that. For you, the portals are open. So it's up to you to really harness this energy. And also, the best remedy for you is mantras, because for moon going towards Ketu, Ganesh mantra, or you can give donations, donation especially for maybe helping other people to learn some skills. That would be ideal donation for you, or just for health in general, because it's the Lagna Lord as well. So health related donations or things like that, chanting mantras is ideal. And stay positive. There might be a lot of detachment, which is good. It's not bad at all. But take care of your emotions and surround yourself with people, like-minded people, spiritual people. That'll give you stability. And make use of your intuition during a few days before and after the eclipse. And now the eclipse, the impact of eclipse stays for like 6 months to a year. So this is not a short, just one day event. This has lasting impact. So you can do these recommendations and things that we discussed, and you'll get the blessings of the Chandra and the Ketu. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon to get the notifications. Next, we'll talk about the sign of Leo. This could be a rising sign, or this could be a moon sign, both applicable. You can look at either or both. So we are talking about the lunar eclipse taking place on March 25th. That's going to be the midnight of 24th and 25th in the US Pacific time. And that will be 12:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time on March 25th. So the eclipse is taking place in Virgo in Hasta Nakshatra. We talked about Virgo, and we talked about Hasta. We talked about lunar eclipse and mythology and do's and don'ts. All of that we discussed in the intro section. So please watch the intro section first, and then you can come back here if you haven't already. So eclipse is taking place in your 2nd house. This, lunar eclipse takes place on a full moon. So it's overflowing nectar, lots of emotions, anxiety, emotional roller coaster. So all of those things might be happening in your 2nd house areas, which is with respect to your family, with respect to your speech. So be careful in your communication. Spoken words are very important. There you may make some headless mistakes. But if you speak from the place of intuition, then your speech will be very powerful, because moon is going towards Ketu, so that is intuition. Then the second thing is, take care of your diet. Don't eat, junk food, or don't stop eating, because there's Ketu is there. There may be detachment from eating. There might be some illusion or misunderstandings with family members or with respect to your family wealth. Okay, there might be some visitations from foreign people, from ancestors. You may have people, show up from past lives, or from this life, from the past. All of that is possible, like unexpected, things, people, occurrence of old acquaintances or people from past life literally might show up. And so this is the time to settle the karma, good or bad. And then, um, um, but be careful with respect to your finances also. 12th house ruler is in the second house getting eclipsed. So 12th house is the house of donations and losses. So the best remedy for Leo sign is to give donations. That's the 12th Lord. And also speak, you can do silent retreats. That is giving rest to the second house, the speech. Okay. And then also food donations are good for you because it's taking place in your second house. So for Leo sign, especially food donations and any money donations or donations to for temples or to the priests, or in a foreign country, donation to a foreign country, a charity organization, those kinds of things will be excellent for you. Start chanting some mantra on this day. Very powerful for you, for Leo, because it's second house of speech. And any mantra you start on lunar day, lunar eclipse, becomes very, very powerful. It's a really powerful time to start chanting mantras or do, any mantra shastra. So that's the overall impact for the sign of Leo. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon to get the notification. Next is the sign of Virgo. We're talking about the eclipse, the lunar eclipse that's going to take place on March 25th. And it's going to be exactly the peak of the eclipse will be the midnight of March 24th and 25th Pacific time. And that'll be 12:30 p.m., around 12:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time on March 25th. So this eclipse is taking place in the sign of Virgo, of course, and in Nakshatra of Hasta. Now, for Virgo, and this could be your Lagna or Rashi, so this is obviously taking place in the first house, extremely important for you. And it's the 11th Lord that's being eclipsed. So overall, this is the time for complete change and transformation in your personality, in your self-discovery, intuition. You will have loads of intuition, really powerful time to do meditation. Go within, discover who you are, get the answers from the universe. And you may have people visiting you from past life, because you yourself, your ancestors especially, in your dream, in your sleep, you may have discuss encounters or meeting with ancestors. So to figure out who you are, that's the first house. Lots of meditation recommended. And you may end up making some headless mistakes. So be careful dealing with everybody in general when it comes to explaining, about your point of view. That's the first house. Overall, there could be emotional ups and downs, anxiety or mood swings, and you may feel complete detachment from the external world. Which is fine, which is good in a way, actually, if you're on the right track, if you're on the spiritual path. So focus on spirituality. So this eclipse, even though it's just a one-day event, but the impact lasts for 6 months to a year. So this is not like just a mini one-day transit. This is a long, long impact this transit has. There might be some illusions about yourself, who you are, or people may misunderstand you because that's the first house. But you can give donations. Okay, you can actually do fasting. For you is a excellent remedy because it's the first house and it's about the general health also. So taking care of your health and keeping a check on your desires. That's the 11th Lord. There may be some misunderstandings, illusion with respect to your friend circle, social network. So be careful on the social network. But you could reach out to people who are very spiritual, so that network will grow. This is excellent. Like you may have people unexpectedly show up, like past friends from past life or from this life in the past. They may unexpectedly show up, and take care of your finances. You may feel detached from your finances, so still pay attention to your gains and finances and income, all of that. So that's the overall energy for the sign of Virgo. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get the notifications. Next is the sign of Libra. This could be a rising sign, this could be the moon sign. And we're talking about the lunar eclipse taking place on March 25th. That's exact peak time for the eclipse is the night of 24th, the midnight of 24th and 25th, Pacific time, US time. And that would mean 12:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time on March 25th. So this eclipse taking place in the sign of Virgo and Hasta Nakshatra. We talked about all of that in the intro section. We talked about Virgo, we talked about Hasta Nakshatra, we talked about the mythology of the eclipse and the do's and don'ts, a lot of recommendations. So watch the intro section first and then come back here. So this eclipse is taking place in your 12th house, and it's the moon that's being eclipsed, right? It's the full moon. The lunar eclipse always takes place on the full moon, and it's the 10th lord that's being eclipsed. So a lot to unpack here. See, first of all, of course, as I mentioned, the intro section, the sun and the moon and the earth are aligned. So great time for meditation. But for Libra, especially, it's taking place in the 12th house. That's all about connection with the other planes of existence, astral travel, energy healing, hypnotherapy, past life regression, especially past life regression. You may have visitations from past life. Your ancestors will be very, very much available and, there for you. You can connect with them. Learn hypnotherapy, energy healing, or any esoteric subjects, Jyotish, Ayurveda. Go deep in those. You could learn from foreigners. And one of the key things that you can do is in terms of recommendation is donations, because it's the 12th house. Be careful at your work, in your profession, in your business, because 10th lord is being eclipsed. So you may make some headless mistakes. There might be some illusion or detachment from your work, from your career, from your business. That's natural, but make sure that it doesn't go too far. There may be mood swings and anxiety, emotional up and down, all of those emotions around your profession or with foreigners or during travel. If you're traveling abroad, be careful not to have any unexpected expenses or like some illusions of blind spot, especially, and some hidden enemies and things like that's 12th house. But overall, this is the time when you can really go deep and tap into the subconscious mind, access your intuition, use your intuition, because 12th house is completely activated. Do some mantra chanting, start some new mantra on this day. And essentially, this is like, a combination for moksha. Ketu in the 12th house absolutely becomes the moksha karaka. So even though there may be some emotions and anxiety, um, but for Libra, wonderful portals are opening, and this will this will impact your career as well. That's the 10th lord. So be careful about any miscommunication or illusions, things like that. But otherwise, use your intuition at work and you'll be successful. So that's the transit, that's the lunar eclipse for Libra. And as I mentioned, lunar eclipse, even though it seems like just one day event, but the impact lasts for 6 months to a year. So it's a very important and long transit, so to speak. Next is the sign of Scorpio. We're talking about the lunar eclipse going to be taking place on March 25th. That's, to be precise, it's going to be the midnight of 24th and 25th. Pacific time US, and that'll be 12:30 p.m. March 25th. Now, even though it seems like just a one-day event or just a few hours, but the impact of the eclipse can be felt up to 6 months or even a year after the eclipse. So this is not just a short transit. And so this eclipse is taking place in the sign of Virgo in Hasta Nakshatra. Please watch the intro section, because in the intro section we discussed in detail the Virgo sign of Virgo, Hasta Nakshatra, the mythology of the eclipse, the do's and don'ts, and some recommendations. So watch that first and then come back to Scorpio. So this could be Scorpio rising or Scorpio moon sign. Now the eclipse is taking place in your 11th house. The moon is getting eclipsed, and moon is the 9th house ruler. And so it's a full moon, of course. Every lunar eclipse takes place on a full moon, so lots of emotions. Scorpio generally is very deep emotions, right? So for you, it's a sensitive period. Now, 11th house means you may have some, past life connection with your friends. You may meet somebody from past lives. They may show up, or from this life in the past. There may be some unexpected financial gains, like big financial gains are possible. It's the 11th house. Ketu gives sudden results. You may have some illusion with respect to your friends and social networks. So be careful on social network. Don't make headless mistakes. But you may actually expand your social network as long as you're meeting like people who are spiritual and who have intuition. Use your intuition to connect with people at a very deep emotional level. You may change your friends. You may end some friendships and begin some new ones. And in terms of finances, don't ignore your finances, because 11th house, this may give you detachment from financial gains, but this may also give you rewards. So excellent time. But also this is the 9th Lord that's getting eclipsed in the 11th house. So spend time with the gurus, do some chanting with the gurus. Do not have any anger issues or anything, or any kind of illusion with respect to your gurus or with your father also. Spend time with your Sangha, do lots of chanting with your Sangha. That's the best remedy. And then also 11th house. So keep an eye on your desires. Naturally, this should actually really make you control your desires naturally, this eclipse. But if you still feel like emotional up and down, anxiety and mood swings and all of that because of desires, or not, you think your desires are not getting fulfilled, or too many desires, so keep an eye for that. Otherwise, Scorpio is a very deep sign, so really powerful time for you to go within, use your intuition for higher purposes, higher wisdom. That is the 9th house. 9th house Lord is getting eclipsed. So that's overall analysis for the sign of Scorpio. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get the notifications. So next we'll talk about the sign of Sagittarius. We are talking about the lunar eclipse that's going to take place on the night of 24th, the midnight of 24th and 25th in the US Pacific. That's Pacific time. So that will be 12:30 p.m. IST India time on March 25th. Now, this eclipse may seem like just a one-day event, but the results can be seen, can be felt, even 6 months to 1 year after the eclipse. So this is not just a short transit. This is a very powerful transit. Eclipses are very, very powerful. So it's taking place in Virgo in Hasta Nakshatra. Watch the intersection first, because we talked about Virgo, we talked about Hasta Nakshatra, we talked about the eclipse, the mythology, we talked about the do's and don'ts that you should or shouldn't do during the eclipse, and then lots of recommendations. So watch the intersection, then come back here. So this could be your Sagittarius rising, or it could be Sagittarius moon sign, Rashi. So this eclipse, of course, taking place in your 10th house, and moon is your 8th lord. So 10th house eclipse means be very careful at your workplace, in your profession, in your career, in your business. There may be some illusions. There may also be very, deep, like detachment. You may feel like, oh, I just want to, give up everything, your material life. So don't let that happen. I mean, because this is just temporary, in the sense this feeling will be very strong, but as long as you go within, and as long as you add some spiritual element to your career, to your profession, then it'll give you blessings and positive results. You may actually have some unexpected rewards in your career. There may be like, sudden, all of a sudden you may find like big shift, big positive change or big opportunity in your career. Okay, so there may be a lot of emotional ups and downs in your work, in your career. Be careful about that. There could be anxiety or mood swings, illusion or some scheming going on at your workplace. So be careful about that. And especially it's the eighth lord that's getting debilitated, right? Eighth lord in the 10th house. Anyway, there's possibility of secrets and backbiting and illusion and lack of clear information at your workplace. So that's one caution, very important. But otherwise, if you incorporate some spiritual element in your workplace, that'll be ideal. There'll be big spiritual transformation and change happening. You may actually even decide to start a new career that has a very spiritual foundation. Now, the results of eclipse, they can be felt 6 months to a year after the date of eclipse. So this is a powerful event that triggers a lot of important things in people's lives. So that's the overall energy for Sagittarius, how this eclipse might turn out to be. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon to get the notifications. Next is the sign of Capricorn. That could be rising sign or your moon sign. We're talking about the eclipse that's going to take place on March 25th. Now, keep in mind that even though this seems like just one day event, but the results of eclipse or the energy of the eclipse can be felt up to 6 months to a year after the eclipse. So this is not a short transit. This is a very, very important event. Triggers a lot of things. So this eclipse will be on the midnight of March 25th and March 24th midnight and the beginning of March 25th and in US Pacific time, and that'll be 12:30 p.m. IST India time. So that's the peak. That's the exact moment of eclipse. And so this is taking place in Virgo in Hasta Nakshatra. Please watch the intro section because there we have discussed in detail what Virgo means, what Hasta Nakshatra means, the mythology of the eclipse, and a lot of do's and don'ts and recommendations. So eclipse, lunar eclipse means full moon. And on that day, the sun and the moon and the earth, they're all aligned. So great time for meditation going within. Now, this eclipse for Capricorn, it's taking place in your 9th house. And it's the 7th house ruler that's getting eclipsed, the moon, right? So 9th house eclipse means you may actually get, some gurus from past lives may show up or from the past in this lifetime. And your Sangha, your spiritual brothers and sisters, they may surface from past lives. You may have unexpected rewards and, really big success in your higher studies or spiritual wisdom. And so there also is a possibility of like some kind of headless mistakes or too many emotions with respect to your gurus or with respect to your father. So be careful dealing with your father or in your father's life. I mean, there might be emotional ups and downs. There might be anxiety. You may also feel very detached from your father or from your gurus or from your Sangha because of some kind of illusions or misunderstandings. That's Ketu. But this is the time to go within and access the higher wisdom. That's the 9th house. Okay. And it's also the 7th ruler. So be careful in terms of your relationships. There could be a lot of emotions involved in your relationship. There could be anxiety. There may be some headless mistakes, and you may feel completely detached. You may actually, your relationship may undergo a lot of change and transformation. Literally, you could end one relationship and begin another one, or there could be illusion and lack of clarity with respect to relationships. So the solution is, the recommendation is, go within, tap into your intuition. That's the solution. That's the remedy. You could also go on a long distance travel, especially like pilgrimage or visiting temples, spending a lot of times at the temples. That's also 9th house. That's a great remedy in general. I mean, not just on the day of eclipse, but for the next 6 months to a year. on the day of eclipse. Of course, it's best to just stay home and do your mantras and yagyas and give some charity and donations. You could do that online. So all of that is happening. And this is not the best time to say focus on external material things, but higher wisdom is the key thing for Capricorn because it's taking place in the ninth house. So that's the overall energy for Capricorn. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon to receive the notifications. Next is the sign of Aquarius. So this eclipse is taking place on March 25th. We're talking about the lunar eclipse. That'll be exact peak time for the eclipse will be the midnight of March 24th and 25th. So the beginning of March 25th, that is Pacific time, US. And that'll be 12:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time on March 25th. Now, keep in mind, eclipse, even though this seems like just one day event, but the impact, the results of eclipse last for more than 6 months or to a year. So this is not just a short transit. It's very impactful, very, very powerful, triggers a lot of things. And please watch the intro section first. We discuss the sign of Virgo. So this eclipse is taking place in Virgo in Hasta Nakshatra. So we discussed Virgo, we discussed Hasta Nakshatra, we discussed the mythology of the eclipse, we discussed the do's and don'ts and recommendations. So watch the intro first and then come back here. So for Aquarius, eclipse is taking place in your 8th house. And it's the 6th lord that is getting eclipse. So 8th house eclipse, it's all about discovering the secrets of the universe, tapping into the intuition, the deep psychology, energy healing, hypnotherapy. Best recommendation is get a hypnotherapy session, or you could do on your own. Your entire 8th house is powerfully activated. You have the moon and the Ketu going over there. You may feel detachment from your in-laws or from other people's money. You may not want to handle other people's money, but uh, don't make that like mistake, as in be completely detached from all of that. But pay attention. I mean, don't make any headless mistakes, but don't be completely detached. There may be lots of hidden emotions. That's the 8th house. Moon and Ketu is emotions. Emotional roller coaster is possible. Anxiety and mood swings, that's possible. But you will have access to the secrets of the universe. I mean, nothing less than that. And so you can give donations, especially for spiritual purposes. And then also you can start some mantra on this day. Lunar eclipse is powerful day to start any mantra initiation. Or if you already do a lot of mantras, then take a vow sankalpa to do more mantras starting this day. And then you may also have access to subjects around death, or maybe visitation from somebody from past life, or from your past in this life. And that's what eclipse does, and especially with taking place in the 8th house. But go within, focus on your intuition. Lots of spiritual progress is possible. Spiritual awakening, nothing less than that, for the sign of Aquarius. So if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon so you get the notifications. Next. All right, so next is Pisces, the sign of Pisces. That could be rising sign or your moon sign, Rashi. And so we're talking about the eclipse, the lunar eclipse coming up on March 25th. So that'll be precisely the peak of the eclipse will be the midnight of March 24th and the beginning of March 25th. That's US Pacific time, and that'll be 12:30 p.m. in India. Now, keep in mind, the eclipse may seem like just a one-day event, but the impact, the results can be seen anywhere from 6 months to a year after the eclipse. So this is not a short transit. It's a very important, impactful transit. So keep in mind these remedies for the next 6 months to a year. So this is taking place in Virgo, and in Hasta Nakshatra. So watch the intro section first. We discussed the energy of Virgo. We discussed the energy of Hasta. We discussed the mythology of the eclipses. We discussed the do's and don'ts and lots of recommendations. So watch intro and then come back here if you haven't already. So eclipse is taking place in your 7th house if you're Virgo, if you're Pisces rising or Pisces Rashi. and it's the fifth house ruler that's getting eclipsed. So fifth house is creativity, and so this is an eclipse means intuition. So tapping into intuition. This is a excellent time for Pisces to your intuition is heightened. A lot of change, spiritual awakening is possible through creative ways. Um, you know, uh, just a few regular cautions, be careful dealing with your children. That's fifth house. Be careful dealing with your romantic partners, and also your spouse, one-on-one partnerships, your business partners. Be careful in your communication with all those people, and be careful about maybe a lot of emotions going on, or anxiety, or some kind of mood swings or headless mistakes when it comes to your romantic relationships. So next 6 months to a year, these things you have to be careful about. Um, but work on your creativity and start some creative projects. Absolutely fantastic time. Go within and your intuition. And then you can do these things with your spouse, with your partner, with your children, with your romantic partner. Do lots of meditation together. Go within, discover yourself. You might be, ending one relationship and getting into new one, or you may completely change and transform your existing relationship and start building a spiritual foundation for that. Great time for that. Uh, Pick up some mantras together, just start chanting some new mantra, or chant more of some existing mantras that you already do. Lunar eclipse is powerful time to initiate mantras. And also just seventh house is essentially the house for other people. So you may feel detached from other people. So don't ignore your relationships, but keep a balance. And there may be some past life connections coming. You may, some relationships from past lives may rekindle, or from past in this life, some people may resurface again. There may be some unexpected rewards with your partner or for your partner in their life. So all of that is possible. So that's the eclipse energy for the sign of Pisces. Thanks for watching. And if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon to get the notifications. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.